What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Mr. J here. So guys, today we're talking about market structure. As you all know, market structure is very, very important. The knowledge and application of market structure will actually help to skyrocket your trading wins. So it's very, very important to understand market structure, as it gives you an extra confidence when you're taking your trades, right? So that being said, let's just dive into it straight up. So, okay, if it's your first time coming across this channel, please like and subscribe. I'll be posting a lot of quality information and videos on this channel, so you don't want to miss out, right? So, what is market structure? Market structure, I like to define it as the skeleton of every chart or every index. So let's say if it be gold or maybe JPY or AD, whatever it is, the current structure, the current movement in the market. So let's say, for instance, I open the chart and then I see the market giving us something like this. Movement from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C, from point C to point D, just like that, So this right here is the current market structure of this particular chart. So let's say, for instance, this is gold, and then gold is giving us something like this. So this is the market structure of the current market structure of gold, right? So it's very, very important to understand this. Okay, so that being said, the next thing we need to understand is the various types of market structure. The various types of market structure. So if you look up here, I already highlighted three types of market structure, which is the uptrend, downtrend, and then the ranging markets. So let me just quickly explain them and expand on this. So in the uptrend, we have something like this. The market is moving like this. And as this market is moving like this, it's creating what we call higher highs, and the lows are also higher, right? So you can see we are having higher highs being created, and we're also having higher lows being what created as this market is making this move. So let me just take this and write it down so we can be able to see very well. So this is what higher lows, right? Higher lows, and then we're also having what higher highs, right? So this is how the market is forming. The market is forming higher highs and also forming higher lows. So this is what an uptrend looks like. So if you're opening at a trend, if you open any chart at all and you're wondering what's happening, you're trying to understand the current trend of the market. If the market is giving you higher highs, and higher lows, that means that market is uptrending. And if it's giving you lower lows and lower highs, that means the market is downtrending. I'll come to downtrending soon. Let me just be done with the uptrend, right? Let's try and take it one by one. So we just follow through. So this will be called uptrend, right? Uptrend. All right. All right. So now we move on to the next one, which is the downtrend. 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 Right? So what does a downtrend look like? The downtrend is the vice versa of the uptrend. It looks different from the uptrend. So on the downtrend, we want to see something like this. We have a high, then we have a lower low, and then a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. So this is the characteristics of a downtrend, right? So when we see this kind of formation out here in the market, this means that the market is in a downtrend. So let me just indicate this right here so we know what we're doing. Lower high, me them. Lower high, lower highs, and lower high. So guys, the LH just simply means lower high. It's trying to minimize it, right? That's just an abbreviation. This is a lower low. While on the lows, we have lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and lower lows, right? So this is what a downtrend looks like, guys. So we've been able to establish an uptrend and now also a downtrend, right? So guys, try and follow. Right. So the next thing that we have here is ranging markets, ranging markets, ranging markets. So what does a ranging market look like? A ranging market, I like to call it a confused market because the market is neither buying or selling. I like to avoid such setups or such scenarios, and I also advise you to also avoid such scenarios where the market is not giving us any clear trend, is neither buying or selling, just stuck in a range. That's why we call it ranging market. So as you can see here, the market is just going up and down, not giving us any clear direction of movement of what the market is intending to do, right? So the best thing to do in such scenarios is just to avoid it, right? And allow the market to break out of this range and then give us a clear direction on the next step which the market wants to move to, right? So once we see that, then we can be able to trade in line with that current, right, current trend which the market has established for us, right? So it's very, very important we avoid ranging markets, right? So we have talked about the uptrend, we have talked about the downtrend, we have talked about the ranging markets, and I said in a range, the market is not giving us any clear direction, and we advise to avoid this kind of scenarios, right? Okay, so we have been able to establish this basic fact, right? So let's move on to something more advanced. So once we have known these basics, the next thing we want to do is I want to know what we plan to do. So now, if you enter the market, you have two things at the back of your mind. You want to be buying or selling, right? And also you want to be buying in line with a continuation, or you want to be getting like into the market on reversals. You want to be buying in line with the trend, that's a continuation, or you want to be getting in line with the market on reversals, right? Reversals. Okay. So that being said, let me show some chart examples of what I'm talking about. So let's say, for instance, now you come to the market and you look at the charts and we are in an uptrend. Market is giving us a series of highs, right? Now let's talk about the continuation first. So as you can see, the next thing we have here is continuation or reversals. We just say continuation and reversals, right? Because like I said earlier, when you come to the market, you either want to be buying or selling, and you want to be buying in line or selling in line with a continuation or a reversal. Two things. So the continuation concepts and then the reversal concepts, right? So two things you want to be doing. So let's say we come to the market and then the market structure of that particular chart is like this, right? So we're having something like this. The market is giving us something like this. Now, from what we have been able to establish from this previous lesson here, we know that this is an uptrend from the structure, from the market structure that is currently being displayed here. This is an uptrend, right? So we have our series of highs, and then also we have our series of higher lows, right? Higher highs and higher lows. So this is an uptrend. This is an uptrending market, right? Let me just write that down. Trying to clone this. Right. All right. This is an uptrend. Right. So that being said, if you can look at this chart, you realize that the market is breaking these highs, these higher highs upwards, right? Market is breaking these higher highs upwards, right? So what we call this is the break of structure. So we have a structure over here, right? This high over here is a structure, is a high of this particular session, and then we have a low here. Now this low comes up to break this high. So once that happens, we have what we call a break of structure, or BOS. So I'll be using the abbreviation BOS because of space. So here we have what we call a BOS. BOS, right? So the BOS simply means what? The break of structure, right? Now, this break of structure indicates that the market is what? Continuing that trend, right? So now we have another BOS above here, simply break of what? Market structure above here. This also means that the market what is continuing the trend to the upside. This is very, very important to follow, guys. So we have another BOS also to over here, right? This simply means that this chart is continuing. The market has not shifted or changed the direction using the reversal concept. So the market is still in an uptrend, right? So as far as the market is still breaking structures upwards, we just want to be trading in line with that trend, right? So we call this the continuation concept, right? Pardon my spelling, the continuation concept, right? Now, I just give us a buy example of concept. Yeah. I just gave us a buy example right here. So it's the same thing when we're talking about the sell example too. So a sell example will just look like this. Market breaking structures, just the same thing. Continuing the trend, like the name implies, continuation concepts, right? So we are trading in line with the trends. We're just continuing whatever is happening, right, guys? We're just continuing whatever is happening, right? So as you can see, the market is just trending and we are trading in line with that. So let me just make this look nice. So this is a BOS here. It's the same BOS we'll use over here. So this is a BOS, another BOS, just like that. So this is a downtrend, a continuation move on a downtrend, right? So what we want to be looking out for here is just to sell in line with the trend, right, guys? So it's very, very important we understand this. So this is downtrend in a continuation move, right? Downtrend in a continuation move, right? So this being said, now we have been able to establish the fact that a continuation concept want to see the market in a particular trend. As the name implies, continuation, that means the market is already in a particular trend and we want to follow that particular trend, right? So the next one we have here is reversal concept. So from the name, you should already know what that reversal is basically talking about. Reversal concept, right? Let's say reversal concept. So now this reversal concept simply means that, let's say, for instance, the market is already in a particular trend. So the market has been downtrending. Let me make this look nice. All right. So we have been able to establish the fact that we are already on a downtrend, right? We have been able to establish the fact that we are already on a downtrend. These guys follow me. So let's say, let me take this out. So this is the reversal concept. The market is already downtrending, created a low, right? Another low. So we are clearly downtrending. This is the current market structure of that particular trade, that particular chart, right? Is downtrending, right? And then all of a sudden we have a shift. Instead of the market to come back, the market is already downtrending. So we are clearly downtrending. This is the current market structure of that particular trade, that particular chart, right? Is downtrending, right? And then all of a sudden we have a shift. Instead of the market to come back, the market is already downtrending. So we are clearly downtrending. This is the current market structure of that particular trade, that particular chart, is downtrending, right? And then all of a sudden we have a shift. to create another low. Because as you can see from here, we are having lows, series of lows, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. And then all of a sudden, it creates a new lower low and a new lower high. And it's supposed to create another lower low, but instead it shifts the structure to create what? A new high, right? So we call this the market structure shift, or the change of character, or the MSS, market structure shift, right? Market structure shift simply means, let me just write it down. Market structure shift, right? So this simply just means, or you can also call it MSS. So let's say MSS, MSS, yeah. So the market structure shift simply just means the same thing as the MSS. So basically, as you can see, we had a clear direction, which is where the market was downtrending, a clear direction of a downtrend, right? And then all of a sudden we had this sudden change, in the market direction, right? So we call this the market structure shift. So you can see the market has changed the direction from the downwards to the upwards. So now we start targeting what? We start targeting scenarios to what? To buy, because we have changed the direction of this market. Prior to this, we're already on a downtrend. As you can see from all these structures here, we're already on a downtrend. And then we had this MSS, this market structure shift, which indicates what? A shift from the bearish, because here we're already on the bearish, from the bearish movement to the bullish movement, right? It's very, very important you understand this, guys. It's very, very important to understand this. Now, this same thing goes for the selling scenario, right? For the buying scenario, where we change from a buy to a sell. So right here we're selling, and we have had a market structure shift from a selling to a buying, right? So let me show us an example where it's just vice versa, where a market shifts from a buying to a selling. So for instance, we came to the chart and we established the fact that the market was in an uptrend, right? Uptrend. So we all know what an uptrend means from all the examples I've been giving us. And then here's a clear example of what an uptrend structure looks like. And then we now have that sudden shift, shift, market structure shift to create what? A new low, right? So as you can see from here now, we're all having series of what? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then we now have this lower low formed here, right? So this is our what? Market structure shift, our MSS. So let me just write that. Let me just indicate that out so we just know. Right, so this is our MSS, our market structure shift. Let's write down. No, sorry about this. All right, so this is our market structure shift, our MSS, right? So this indicates that that particular trend is coming to an end, right? So all this while we have been uptrending, and then we now had this market structure shift, which clearly indicates that, this particular trend is coming to an end. We are preparing for another trend. We are preparing to enter another trend, right? So once we had that market structure shift, the market now starts changing its direction and moving in another direction, right? So this is basically what the reversal concept looks like. What's this? This is basically what the reversal concept looks like, and also the continuation concept looks like, guys. So I think I should show some examples. Let's look at some examples. Let's look at some real life examples of the market structure. Now, the first thing you must understand, guys, is that you want to be trading in line with the trend, right? That's a very, very important concept you should have at the back of your mind. So whenever you come to the trade, you want to trade in line with the trend. Avoid the ranges, guys. Avoid the ranges. So the first thing you want to do is that you want to make sure you go to higher time frames, such as the daily, the weekly. You can even go to the weekly, 4 hour time frames and see what's happening in the bigger picture. And then you can use that market structure to scale down to make your entries, right? So as you can see over here now, okay, let me use this for a continuation. Let me go to the daily time frame, right, guys? My chart is so my chart is so choppy, so many write-ups. Right, so guys, this is a daily time frame, and this is just a continuation chart, right? So as you can see, I told us that you have to see what's happening. A market structure helps you to know what's happening. So from this move over here, it's clear that we are in an uptrend, right? So I think I took this trade last week, or this week. Let us pass now. I took this trade. So as you can see now, this is a clear indication of what an uptrend. Very, very clear. How is it clear? We have a low over here. So this is our low. This is our what? Our low, right? Our higher low over here. And then we now had another higher low, right? We had another higher low over here also. And we also had our what? High, higher high, right? And also we have another higher high also above. So we had another higher high also here above. Clone. So another higher high also, right? So we have higher high, higher low, higher low. This simply tells you that we are in an uptrend, and this is a daily time frame, guys. The daily time frame. So the confluence is very, very strong. We have strong confirmation, right? That we are in what an uptrend, right? So now this has been cleared up. So the next thing we have to do, we have to go down to lower time frames before we start looking for ways to make our entries. So guys, look at this clean, structure over here, giving us now, it's telling us what to do. So I'll not be looking out for scenarios to sell. Instead, I'll be looking for scenarios to just buy, because I want to be buying in line with the trend. I'm not trading reversals now. I'm trading what's continuation, right? And that was how I was able to get this good move right from here. I got this very, very beautiful move, 1:6 move from here, clean, right? Based on just following what the direction of the market, right? So let's look at some other trades. Let's look at some other trades real quick. Let's look at some other trades real quick before we let's look at GBP. GBP, yeah. Let's look at GBP. All right. Okay, I'm currently on the 4 hour time frame. Currently on the 4 hour time frame on GBP USD. So it's very, very important. Like I said, you follow the structure, right? So from this move over here, it's clear we are in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend, right? From this move over here. This is a 4 hour time frame. So as you can see, this is just clean structures, right? This right here is a high, so a low, sorry, higher low, and then we also have our higher highs, right? Higher highs, right? So you can see the market is just creating this series of higher highs. And all I want to be doing is just to be following this chart, trading in line with the trend and following it. That's all I want to be doing. Now I'm looking for scenarios to buy in line with the current chart, because the market is in an uptrend, right? Now, if the market changes character and forms a new obvious lower high, lower low, that's when I will not be looking for ways to change and start selling to change from the buying and then start selling in line with the new trend, guys. So it's very, very important to understand these things, guys. Yeah. So this is just me explaining the basic concepts of market structure, the basic concept, what everyone should what you should know, right? Let's look for some other trade. Let's see if we can see some. Let's look at GBP JPY, right? Let's see if we can. I'm looking for a reversal. So this is also a continuation trade. Very, very beautiful. As you can see, the market has been uptrending. If I go to the daily time frame, you can see market has been uptrending for a very, very long time. And we are just taking advantage of that trend. We're just going in line with the trend. Although right now we have a reversal, as you can see, we have a reversal in the sense that the market has, as you can see, it has been creating higher highs all this while, and now it has broken. It has broken what? It has broken below this low over here, right? This low over here, right? So now we'll be looking for reversal setups. We want this market now to resume and start. Sorry about this. To resume what and then start selling what downwards. So we are looking for something like this now. And then once we get a clear move that the market has changed the direction to the downside, we want to be trading in line with the new direction, guys. So that'll be all for today. I really hope you learned something from this video. Please consider subscribing and liking this video, share to your friends. I promise you guys I'll be very, very active on YouTube from now onwards, and I'll be posting a lot of quality content, yeah, for us here that will help us to become better and good traders, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. God bless you all. See you in the next video. Mr. J. Peace.